Welcome to the Hockey Writers Blackhawks Banter, a weekly show with our top Chicago Blackhawks writing crew, bringing you the latest news, rumors, trades, player grades, game results, and much more. From training camp to the playoffs, from Chelsea Dagger to the Madhouse on Madison, our team covers everything that happens with the Hawks. So get comfortable, grab a beverage. It's time for some Blackhawks Banter. Blackhawks Banter.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the brand new episode of Blackhawks Banter. This is episode 49 of our little group. This is the Michael Layton episode. Not many 49s to choose from. As always, I'm your host, Greg Boysen, and I'm joined with by our great Blackhawks writing crew over at the hockeywriters.com. We are back to full strength this week. We have Gail Kauchak, Brooke LoFurno, and Shaun Filippelli joining us this week. How's everybody doing tonight?
Very well, thank you.
All right. Obviously, nobody watched the game last night then, if we're all doing well. So before we start, which should be a very spirited episode, let's get the formalities out of the way. If you're watching on YouTube, please make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the great episodes of all of our shows across the Hockey Writers universe. We've got something for everybody. We've got specific team shows besides ours. We have rumor shows. We have prospect shows. We've got everything you can possibly want to be the most well-informed hockey fan in your social circle. So please hit subscribe if you're listening. Wherever to the audio versions, wherever you get your favorite podcast, please follow us over there as well. And don't forget, you can follow all of us on Twitter to stay up to date with all of our fun Blackhawk complaints, rants, suggestions, prayers, whatever you want to call them. Follow us all on Twitter. And also, you can follow the show. Blackhawks Banter has its own Twitter account, THW Blackhawks. Give that a follow as well. And also, don't forget, you can sign up for the Hockey Writers Morning Skate daily newsletter that shows right up in your inbox and has all kinds of great stuff, news, little features, fun stuff, little bonuses that aren't included on our website. So sign up for that. You can head over to morningskate.io and get in on that. Lots of good stuff. There are hockey fan bases that are happy right now. Unfortunately, we're not one of them. Another brutal week. Let's just be frank and honest. The Blackhawks are 0-5-1 after 3 straight losses on home ice. They hold the NHL record for the longest a team has gone to start a season without holding a lead ever in the history of the sport. We're 6 games into the season. They haven't led for a single second yet. And if this isn't rock bottom, I don't know what is, and I'm afraid to see what that looks like. So we're just going to get right into our discussions. This weekend, we put our Blackhawks Banter preview post out there where we each picked a topic we wanted to get off our chests, and now it's time for us. We've hit the record button. We're going to expand on those and see what we can come up with. And Shaun, we're going to start with you this week. And you brought up the issue of the Blackhawks stumbling out of the gate. Another slow start this season. Nothing new to this current group of Blackhawks, unfortunately. Do you think the season can still be turned around, or does a drastic change need to be made in order to be where we thought they might be?
I think both can be true. There's still a lot of time left in this year. There's 76 odd games remaining. You hit it on the head. This is quite a slow start, an NHL record of sorts, and one of their worst starts in, coming on 20 years now. So they're not doing what they should be doing. They're not doing what we expected them to do, and they're certainly not doing what they positioned themselves that they were supposed to be doing, to start the season with the kind of talent that they brought in the offseason. So they definitely still have the tools there that are already there and have proven successful in their past to extract that kind of skill out of those who do make up this roster at this time. But obviously, they just don't have the ability to put it together at the moment. So some changes do need to be made. What those are, whether it's as simple as in-game changes that I know we're going to talk a little bit more about in the show, but it could be stuff as simple as in-game, or it could be organizational. The point is, changes do need to be made, but there still is time to extract much better out of this roster. And, I don't want to say I'm overly optimistic, but the reality is there's still a lot of time left. So I'm hopeful that we'll see that come to fruition.
Yeah, 76 games is a lot of time, but unless you start seeing an improvement quick, and they always say you can't win the Stanley Cup in October, but you could sure lose it. And digging yourself out a hole for the rest of the season is not ideal. So yeah, whether it's just magically coming together or making a change, it needs to happen soon. Brooke, what has you the most concerned about this 5-1 start? I know you have a lot to choose from, but what is grinding your gears the most this week?
I have to take a drink of water before I get into this.
Are you sure that's just water?
Yeah, I'm sure. But okay, first off is lack of skill. And I thought this wouldn't be a problem this year, but when you've watched the first 6 games, it's now a problem. They get a lot of shots on net, they don't score, they don't take advantage of their opportunities. Even the Red Wings, who were in the basement last year, are making progress, and I don't see that on this team at all. And that's what you hope to see. And the lack of involvement with the new additions. Jake McCabe has struggled a lot. Tyler Johnson has struggled. Seth Jones has struggled. That's a problem. Just lack of intensity in general. It seems like they don't care. It seems like the players don't care. Seems like the coaches don't care. I don't know. There's just a lot going on, and it seems like there's a lot wrong. And what kind of irks me is that it doesn't seem like this is a one move fixes all kind of thing. It seems like there's way too many issues from top to bottom that not one simple thing would fix it. So it's tough, but there's so many things to be concerned about right now, and it's not really pretty to watch.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there. It's not a one move fix, but not doing anything and pretending it's just going to magically get better, that's not the right approach either. So something's got to give here. And Gail, that's going to bring us to you. Do you think there's something besides a coaching change? Everybody's screaming for a coaching change now. I'm not the only voice in the room now that says that. Is there anything besides a coaching change that can get the team turned around and back into the playoff hunt, or is that where you start and see what happens?
Yeah, I think that everybody really does need to be held accountable. Colliton doesn't appear to have the answer, so I'm not really going to change my, there might need to be a change there, but he's not putting the players in a chance to position to succeed. But they're not doing themselves any favors either. I think the players need to be held accountable. The goaltending hasn't been up to the standards that we expected. The defense, yes, it's bad, and yes, that's probably starts with Colliton and his system. But now they can't even seem to score. So I think that they need to be more aggressive. I think they need to be digging deep, and I think that they need to be held accountable as well. And they need to pull it together fast and figure something out.
For sure. And that is going to be a very nice segue into our next topic, which was Brooke's writings this week. And you talked about that lack of accountability and kind of the same cookie cutter answers we're getting after each loss. It's the same thing being recycled. And frankly, I think we're all tired of hearing it. Did you want to hear something different last night when Jonathan Toews and Seth Jones and Jeremy Colliton were came out to the podium and pretty much repeated the same answers? Did you want to hear something different?
Yes, I did. And you know what? I feel like this kind of even goes back to the Nashville series where they got swept. And that kind of bugs me because I feel like they sort of act like Blackhawk fans or hockey viewers are almost dumb and we're blind and can't see what's happening out there, that they can just feed us this kind of almost just non-encouragement whatsoever. I don't expect them to come out and say, we stink. That's not like realistic, but I do expect them to say, we're not good enough. We can see it. Like, obviously things can be improved on, but just kind of like own up to it instead of beating around the bush, because that's what's kept them in this like state of losing, is just not admitting to things. So yeah, I would like them to say we're not doing well enough right now. We need to be better. Instead, we keep hearing this is a great team. We got a really good team and this is going to get better. And we're like, where is it though? Where is it getting better? Like, just admit that something's off. We can see it. You don't need to act like we're stupid. So yeah, I just wish they would just be honest. Fans respect that kind of honesty, especially in Chicago.
Yeah, I agree with you. We don't get nearly enough of that, especially in this town. when you listen to our football teams coach you, I swear to God, you would think, no, that's another show. Gail, you talked a little bit about it earlier, but I mean, are these problems? What do you think? Is it coaching? Is it execution? Is it a little bit of both?
Just going to Brooke's point here, I'm not really sure what else they can say. What they have to say is what they have to say. They're not going to throw their coach under the bus or any of the players under the bus when they speak. But I think that what we have seen, and if we can kind of read between the lines, last night it took them forever to come out after the game to come out to speak. So I think that there was some kind of a closed door meeting, something going on there, and then I'm sure you probably all saw it on Twitter as well that head coach Colliton just gave him the dry erase board during the power play, and like players wrote up their own play. And I mean, I guess sometimes that happens, and kudos to the Colliton for like letting them speak to themselves. I guess I don't know, but I don't really think that should be happening. So.
Yeah, that's not a good thing. And he said, "Oh, that's normal." Oh yeah, I remember all those times Joe Quenneville just sat back and let the players design their own plays. That's a coach getting emasculated on TV in front of everybody. That's exactly what that was, and yet we're still here. Shaun, with the lack of accountability that we have seen so far, we've all talked about it. But in your eyes, who deserves most of the blame for right now? I mean, there's plenty to go around. Is it somebody on the ice? Is it somebody behind the bench? Is it somebody behind a nice desk in a big office? Who gets the most blame right now?
I like that look, Shaun.
I mean, listen, it's yeah, there's a lot of blame to be shared, right? But the reality is there's one common thread through most of what we've spoken about so far in this episode, and that's Coach Colliton. I like to give him a lot of rope. When I first came on board with the Hockey Writers, again, my first ever article with this organization was about keeping him on board and celebrating his success. But that feels like it was ages ago at this point. And Colliton currently has arguably the best roster on paper anyway that he's ever had in his short tenure with Chicago, and he's not getting anything out of them. That's concerning. The level of talent, the level of proven talent, let alone the level of prospective talent, let alone the level of sophomore talent that's there. He has a mixed bag of everything you could possibly ask for and more. And they stink. They suck. He can't do anything. He can't motivate them. He can't get the best out of them. They don't look energized. They don't look ready from puck drop and beyond. That's his job, as Greg, you've echoed, for a year now, that it's his job to get them ready to go, and he's not doing that. With the level of veteran presence there, he should be able to be tapping into what they're capable of and what they've proven capable of throughout their careers, and he's just failing at that. So to me, you have to look at Colliton at this point. He's the one steering the ship, and he's steering them in the wrong direction. And we have to get someone on board and someone who can redirect their ship sooner than later, because it's going bad quick.
Cheers.
Yeah, that is 100% accurate. I mean, accountability, everybody should be raising their hand saying, I'm not doing my job. Just look at the overall team numbers. Their shooting percentage is 4.2% right now. Their save percentage as a team is .864. Neither of those are very, very good. Both of them are well below league average. You need binoculars to see average right now. It's all around. It's bad. And I can't understand how somebody like Rocky Wirtz, who has been preaching to us for years and years about this championship standard we have and one goal, how can you watch this and not do anything about it? Your sellout streak ended last night. That should be the thing that sets you on fire the most. That's taking money out of your pocket right now. And yet nothing. And yet Jeremy Colliton's out there meeting with the media today, not fired, still has his job. You tell us all this stuff about one goal and championship standards. Right now, it's a bunch of crap, because you don't have that standard. You don't care about what's going on right now. And listen, your PR has been the worst ever over the last 6 months with all the scandal stuff off the ice. You're going to fix it all by giving us this good team. You got us Marc-Andre Fleury and Seth Jones, and we talked about this on and on and on. And the team is garbage. So if you want to tell us you've got this standard, it's time to live up to it, and you get rid of Colliton, and hey, maybe get rid of the guy that gave him that extension, and maybe don't have your son as team president, put a hockey guy in there. Just saying, like, all of it stinks right now. And to me, it starts at the top. with Rocky words. He needs to stand up and clean up this mess or move on. All
Here's
right,
again.
that felt good. Yes, Gail.
Although, just to point something out here, the person who would likely be your interim coach, Mark Crawford, is in COVID protocol right now, and so are two of your other coaches. So it might not be the best time to. Maybe they got something planned. I'm just saying.
Just give the charge to one of the players. He did it last game anyway.
Yeah, I guess Tays could just coach, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Have Derek King coach Wednesday night until Crawford gets better. You can make it work if you want to.
Right.
Instead, you look like you're doing nothing and you're okay with getting embarrassed. They're not losing; they're being embarrassed. And you right now, by doing nothing, regardless if it's because of COVID, then it makes you look worse because it makes you look like you're accepting this and you're okay with it. And that's just not. That shouldn't be it.
Pathetic.
This is interim
pathetic.
coaches. You can have 12 interim coaches all you want. Just put somebody in there for the next game. But I have a theory what they're waiting for, but I won't get into that on this show because
that's a new show.
theory.
Scandals.
Yeah, we don't want to get into that stuff. All right, let's take a nice little break, catch our breath because we got some more complaining to do. But just to remind you guys, don't forget to follow us all on Twitter. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see our screen names right there on the screen. And don't forget, if you're part of the active world of Discord, the Hockey Writers we have our own, what do they call those, servers? We have our own server on Discord, the Hockey Lounge, and you can join us over there. Join us in the Blackhawks channel, chat with us there. Just another way to get involved in the conversation. And as always, if you have questions you'd like us to include, topics you'd like us to discuss, you can shoot us a note over there or on Twitter or comment on the YouTube channel. We love getting comments and questions, and we'll try to incorporate them as we go along. All right, so that's now brings me to my topic that I put in the preview post, and I really tried. I sat down with the mindset of I'm going to do something positive. I've got this reputation that I'm the negative guy here, though we're all negative now. But I was I'm going to do something positive, and then I looked at it and I'm like, there's nothing positive to write about. So I wrote about my concern of Patrick Kane and his quote unquote defensive play this season. Now I know we're 15 seasons into this. He's never going to be Patrice Bergeron. We know that's not going to happen. But what we've seen so far, oh boy, he looks like he does not care when he doesn't have the puck. That overtime goal in the New Jersey game. Yeah, he skated hard back down the ice, and then he kind of put it on coasting and skated right past the goal line while Jack Hughes is scoring the winning goal. There was that first goal against Vancouver. Just pathetic. That's what it was. The puck is going towards your goalie and he's skating off to the blue line for what unknown reason. I have no idea. Listen, I'm not looking for him to win a Selke. That's never going to happen. But look like you care. Pretend you care. Make us think you're trying. That's all I ask. That's not that hard to do. You've done it long enough. He's been on the ice for 1 5-on-5 goal for and 8 5-on-5 goals against. That's just not going to get it done. That whole line needs to be better. He has a point per game average, a goal and 4 assists before he went in the COVID protocol. So he's still producing. But, I just want to see some effort. You got an A on your sweater for a reason. Play like it. I don't think that's a tough request. Is it any wonder that this whole team stinks when they look at their leadership group just coasting it on defense? It's a problem all the way up and down. Shaun, we'll talk about Kane a little bit now, expand. Shaun, do you think that this nagging injury that he talked about last year, do you think that that's something more than he's letting us on, and maybe there's a reason for this?
There has to be. You hit all the main points on the head. You kind of took some of the words right out of my mouth there, but perhaps it's us being spoiled as Blackhawks fans with Kane being here for as long as he has, that here's a guy who's still producing at a point per game pace, even in the latter part of last year when we saw him quote unquote slow down. And even into this year, they haven't won yet, but he's still getting a point per game. And that's great from a production standpoint. But like you said, defensively, he's just not there. And again, you said it, I'll echo it again, that's not his job. We know that, but he's just not playing very responsibly. He's not playing like he cares. He's not playing like he's in it. And while we can attribute some of that to just aging, physiology sort of is what it is, it's a natural regression, it didn't seem like Kane was there yet. It seemed like he was still performing at quite a high level. And again, perhaps we are spoiled because he's still getting a point per game, and to most people that would be a high level, but we expect more out of him on both ends of the ice. He needs to be doing better, and he's just not. So for that drop off to happen so dramatically and so quickly and so swiftly certainly seems to suggest there's more going on behind the scenes there. And Greg, you said it best. He just looks like he doesn't care. So perhaps he does, but he just can't put in the care because something's stopping him.
Yeah, I think there's something more than just a nagging injury there. He was not good at the end of last year, and it's just not the same. Brooke, when Kane has met the media so far this year, he, along with all the other Blackhawks, they've been pulling the company line, and they've all saying that they still have faith in Jeremy Colliton. Do you believe him when he says that?
I actually don't know how to answer this because I feel like the easy answer would be no, they have no faith in him. But also what Seth Jones said yesterday kind of took me back a little bit when he said this isn't a coaching issue, this is a locker room issue. I'm like, okay, what's the locker room issue then? What's going on in that locker room? Does it start with Colliton? Or is it something with the players? I don't know. Like I said, I wish we could be a fly on the wall to hear what's going on, because this might run deeper. We're not behind the scenes. We don't know how the players respond to him behind closed doors. Maybe they do, and it's just not translating. And so that's kind of the hard part. But ultimately it does start with the coach. If there's a locker room issue or disconnect, it does fall on Colliton's shoulders. Ultimately, he's the coach. He should get his team together, prepared, that whole thing. So overall, because of the performance, I would say no. I don't think they have much faith in him because nothing's changing.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. It's hard to hear these guys say, hey, he's the right coach for the job, and then they go out and look like there's nothing there. There's no effort. So it's hard to believe that. Gail, are you worried about Patrick Kane's defensive efforts so far this year? Or, hey, as long as he keeps putting up the points, you're okay with it? It is what it is. We should be used to it by now. What's your take on this?
I have always been concerned about Patrick Kane's defensive efforts. It's something that's always kind of pissed me off a little bit, to be honest with you. Okay, he's Mr. He can give you some offensive talent, unlike any in the league, but I still think that he needs to have that accountability, especially like you said with that A on his sweater. He's got the A and he's a leader of this team, but yet he's, coasting around, like you said. I mean, at least put your stick out there, or do an extra lunge or something, And I think that his teammates who are going the extra mile to get him the puck every night, they deserve that. So yeah, that's always been a problem of mine, and even more so now in this bad start to the season.
Yeah, that's pretty much spot on right there. We've dealt with this for a long time, and maybe it's sticking out more because everything's so bad, that you're watching it more and looking out for it more. But it definitely that effort needs to be there more. And it's not just him. We're not just picking on him, but he's part of this leadership group. He needs to lead by an example, and the example he's setting right now is why you're 0-5-1. All right, we're gonna move on to our shootout round, which seems to be everybody's new favorite segment. So we're gonna keep rolling. We're gonna do it just like a shootout in hockey. Remember those? I don't think the Blackhawks are gonna have any of those this year, because that means you actually have to get past regulation. But we're gonna go quick pace, rapid fire. Gonna throw out some questions. You guys are gonna give me some quick answers, and we'll move on to the next one. We're gonna start off tomorrow night. It is tomorrow night because this show will be airing on Tuesday. The Toronto Maple Leafs are coming to town, and I'm sure, as Shaun could tell you, they're coming off a brutal loss, 7-1 to the Penguins, when the Penguins were pretty much playing their AHL team. So which one of these two struggling teams are going to end their embarrassing stretch here? Do the Blackhawks beat the Maple Leafs on Wednesday night is what I'm asking. Brooke, what do you think?
Yes, and I know I said this last week and I got proven wrong, but I'm going to say yes because the Blackhawks have always matched up well against the Maple Leafs for whatever reason.
Gail, are they beating the Leafs?
Gosh, I hope so, because if they don't, then they play the Red Hot Canes and the Red Hot Blues after that, and that if that was the case, then we'd be staring down 9 losses in a row.
Yep. Shaun, are you which jersey you putting on Wednesday night?
Both, but I'll close my eyes and say that the Maple Leafs are going to win.
Yeah, I'm going to agree and say the Maple Leafs are going to win. Until the Blackhawks start playing better, I have no faith that they're going to beat anybody at this point. And yes, the Leafs have been underachieving too, but somebody's got to win that game.
Not to the Blackhawks degree. That's the problem.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So, as Gail alluded to, Blackhawks have a very tough week because after the Maple Leafs on Wednesday, they have road games at the Hurricanes and the Blues, who are right now a combined 8-0. So, 6 possible points on the line this week. How many are the Blackhawks earning? Gail, what's your prediction?
3, the win with the Maple Leafs, and then 1 really tough overtime loss. 3 points.
Shaun, how many points this week?
1.
Brooke?
2.
All right. I will say 1 as well. I think they'll get one of those games over the weekend, overtime, and lose. I can't predict a win right now. It's just not in the cards. Sunday night, the rookie phenomenon for the Detroit Red Wings, Lucas Raymond, a guy we're going to hear a lot from over the next decade or so. He scored his first career hat trick against the Blackhawks. Who do you guys think is going to be the first Blackhawk to accomplish that feat this season? Shaun, who's the first guy getting the hat trick for the Hawks?
Got to be DeBrincat.
Gail?
Nobody? No. Somebody will get a hat trick, I hope, at some point in the season. And I'm going to go with Dominic Kubalik.
All right. Brooke, who do you have for the first hat trick?
I'll say Kane. He's got to step it up. Maybe he will light a fire under his butt. Get the first hat trick.
All right. I'll also go with a DeBrincat vote here. He's the kind of guy that scores them in bunches. So that's my pick here. Now let's move on to the blue paint real quick. The defense has not been great in front of Marc-Andre Fleury. We can all admit that. But he also has not done himself many favors this year. He currently has a 839 save percentage and a 575 goals against average. Not exactly what we were expecting. Would you guys give Kevin Lankinen a couple starts in a row here, and maybe to give Fleury a chance to recharge and refocus? Brooke, what do you think?
I'm going to say no, only because I really don't see much difference between both goalies with the product in front of them. Stick with Marc-Andre Fleury. We're paying him the money. It's big opponents. This is where he's supposed to shine. Keep him in.
Gail, what do you think?
I was going to say yes, but Brooke talked me into it. I think maybe sticking with Fleury would be a good thing. And, we're going to see Lankinen at least once this weekend with the back-to-back. So.
Okay, Shaun, what do you think? Sticking with Fleury or let Lankinen get a few games?
No, I got to go to the minor hockey approach here. Get Lankinen in there and see what he does, and then just let the winning, if they can find any. Let me rephrase. Let the better performing goalie continue on.
Yeah, I agree. I would give Lankinen the Leafs game and see what happens. And if he plays well or if they win, you let him ride it out. Fleury, listen, we know his resume. We know what he can do. He just doesn't look like that goaltender right now. He's not helping himself. He's given up a lot of rebounds. He looks fragile. He looks angry. He looks flustered out there. Mm-hmm. Let him take a couple of days and recharge. Goalies, Shaun, no offense when I say this, goalies are head cases. They need to refocus. And I think this is the perfect chance to pull the plug for a couple of days and let him take a step back and maybe get refocused here and back to what we need him to be and what we're used to him being. All right, round number 5 of the shootout. If you can put one player who currently isn't on the power play and one player who isn't on the penalty kill, who would you put on each one of those respective units now? Gail, we'll start with you.
Okay, on the power play, it kind of depends on who's playing. I think if Dylan Strome is playing, he should be on that second unit. And I wouldn't mind seeing Adam Gaudette get a shot at power play as well. In regards to the penalty kill, I wouldn't change a thing. The Blackhawks have only allowed 2 power play goals on 22 tries. That is 90% success rate, and it's also second in the league right now. Fourth in the league. Anyway, good PK.
All right. Way to find our one positive we can actually talk about. Nicely done, Gail. Shaun, if you're going to make any changes, who's it going to be?
Put Brandon Hagel into both units.
There you go. That could work. Brooke, what do you think?
My first thought on power play was actually Wyatt Kalynuk when he comes back from his injury. I just kind of like the way he looks on the power play. And penalty kill, I'm kind of with Gail. I wouldn't change much, but maybe Jujhar Khaira if he's not already on there. He's a big body, so he can take up a lot of space, which I kind of like with Kirby Dach. So that's not really a short answer. Sorry. Like Kalynuk and Khaira.
For me, I would put Adam Gaudette out there. Maybe replace Kurashev on that second unit, just to see what you get. A little more offense upside there, I think. And on the PK, I would put Ryan Carpenter on the PK because he's very good at that. Maybe replace Kirby Dach. It might be a little too much right now for have Dach on all three phases. Let him concentrate on maybe being an offensive player right now because they need that just as bad. So I'd put Carpenter in for Dach on the PK. All right, last question of the shootout round. This one should be short and sweet. Will Stan Bowman still be employed by the Blackhawks before the start of next season? Shaun, what say you?
Yes.
Brooke?
Yes, if they aren't doing it now, he's staying.
Gail?
I'm going to go out on a lim and say no. I hope so anyway.
Yeah, my answer is he better not be, but unfortunately, I think he still will be.
Yeah.
Rocky Wirtz is proving he is loyal to a fault right now, but we don't know how this whole scandal thing is going to play out. The league may step in at some point and say, yeah, they may make that decision for the Hawks, and maybe that's what they're waiting for. We don't know. It's much easier to say, hey, they forced us to do it than this was our call. All right, that wraps up the shootout. And before we put the bow on this spirited episode of Blackhawks Banter, we'll give everybody a second here to kind of plug what they got going on. What do you guys got working on? Brooke, let us know what you can head over to thehockeywriters.com and check out by you right now.
Okay, so I said this last week, but in case you missed it, I have my players who need to make their mark on this season. And at this point, it seems like every single player does. So go ahead, tell me what you think. And also, I just released my Dylan Strome and the Blackhawks need to part ways. No, it's kind of a controversial topic, so I know it's going to cause some debate, but maybe I'll stick to some more opinion type pieces because I got a lot of opinions here.
Yeah, those are good. That's what I think our readers click over for, more than just a recap. Gail, what have you got working on?
I just released a little bit earlier today my weekly post, weekly analysis of the last 3 games. It's actually a lot of Blackhawks firsts, both bad and good. So give that a look-see.
All right, and Shaun, you seem to be a busy guy these days. What have you got cooking?
Trying to stay that way. Yeah. When the day this episode drops, I'll have my next weekly installment of the THW goalie report, which as a positive silver lining, Fleury did make it into my first report, but for all the wrong reasons. There was much better stories that needed my attention this week. So I do not mention the Hawks, good or bad, in this report.
A good thing. You need a little therapy yourself. We all do. As far as what I got going on, it's pretty much the same as usual. There's every morning the Today in Hockey History post, lots of fun stuff in there every morning. The Blackhawks Daily Download I update. So that's your one-stop place to look for scores, news, injury updates, quotes, links to all kinds of stuff. So stay informed by checking that out every morning. Also, AHL season is in full swing right now, so you can check out my AHL Central News. My latest one just came up to keep you up to date. Plus, I've been doing a lot of features on the Ice Hogs and Wolves, some stuff on Josiah Slavin and Isaac Phillips recently about the Ice Hogs, and I have an Ice Hogs Media Day tomorrow, so hopefully we get some good stuff. Not sure who I'm talking to yet, but you can bet I will get the juicy quotes out to you as soon as I get some. So lots of great stuff going on. The product may not be good on the ice, but the product at the Hockey Writers for this crew can't be beat. So make sure you're checking that out. And we will keep you informed as the season goes along. We'll watch the game so you don't have to. How about that? Is that a fair trade? All right, that is going to wrap up That's how we care about you guys. We'll take the bullet for you and let you know what happened. All right. Thank you guys again for joining us, Shaun, Gail, and Brooke. Looking forward to all that great stuff coming out. And thanks for everybody tuning in on YouTube or listening on your favorite podcast provider. Stay tuned. We'll be back next week, and we appreciate you guys checking in. See you later, guys.